I'm Nicole Guillaume with Guiding Echoes, the channel that is devoted to your spiritual and personal growth. And as promised, this is a video on how to break generational and family curses. Now, before we can get into how to break those curses, it's really important for us to understand what they are. Now, upon the research that I did, it seems as though this idea of generational and family curses originates from Christianity. So when you turn to Exodus chapter 20, we see where God specifically says in verses 1 through 5, and God spoke all these words, "I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven, above, or on the earth, beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me." And then in chapter 6, he goes on to say, "But showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments." So the idea of a generational curse in Christian circles seems to be that of a punishment brought on by God that continues from generation to generation. And you have to remember this too. Back in those old Bible days, there were a lot of different things that were seen as curses, right? So a mental illness, they would have viewed as a curse. A physical ailment that went on from generation to generation, family member to family member, would have been seen as a curse. Poverty. There's so many different things that could go wrong in a person's life, and people would look condemningly at these poor souls and say that they were cursed by God, that they were punished, that they did something wrong. Now, the unfortunate part is that we still kind of have this idea that if there is an affliction that has gone from generation to generation in someone's family, that it's a curse, right? Because it's some type of energy that they can't get away from. There must have been someone who sent them bad mojo at some time, or maybe the universe really is punishing them. You know, who knows what's going on. And so I want to offer a different view of generational and family curses. What if this was simply a false belief or a pattern that has been modeled from parent to child, parent to child, parent to child, so that the pattern just keeps going on and on without being broken? That seems to be the most likely explanation of a generational curse. So you're not really dealing with this negative energy that's been cast upon someone by God or a very powerful witch or anything like that. What you're dealing with is a belief system, a pattern that continues through a bloodline, because nobody has learned how to break it. They just keep modeling the same pattern over and over again. So when it comes to breaking a generational curse, what you really need to do is stop and ask yourself, what ideas have been placed on me by my parents? When did those beliefs start to originate? Right? And then you also have to make the decision that you're not going to move forward with that pattern and that programming any longer. And once you make that decision, you're then able to start looking at different healing modalities that can help you to clear it. So when it comes to clearing this generational and family curse, you're not going to be able to stop the patterns and the programming from affecting the other people around you. So it's not going to, you're not going to be able to break the curse so that it no longer affects your aunt, your cousins, your siblings. You can, however, break the pattern so that it no longer affects you, your personal relationships, your spouse, and your children, right? You can basically start this new timeline, this new story, this new pattern that can lead to positive results instead of negative results. And so when we are talking about a generational or family curse in this video, we're really referring to belief systems and patterns and programming that have been passed on to you by your parents and their parents' parents and their parents' parents, right? So as we move forward, I just want you to keep that in mind. So now you're like, okay, well, now that I have the foundation, now that I understand what a generational and family curse is, how do we break it? That's the point of this video. And so the very first one I want to tell you about also happens to be the one I'm most passionate about, and that is called lifespan integration therapy. Now, I actually interviewed an expert in lifespan integration therapy and created a video about that. And I did that knowing that I was going to create this video, and I wanted you guys to have a good idea of what lifespan integration therapy is, also known as LI. Now, don't be fooled by the name therapy, because this really is an energy healing module. I don't know if the different doctors and therapists and psychologists would agree with me that this is an energy healing modality, because there is a lot of science to back it up. Once people work through lifespan integration therapy, they're able to see the changes that take place in the brain and in their biology, and it is fascinating. It is an amazing, amazing technique. So, of course, I have a link to that so you can check out that video and learn more about LI. And once you get an idea of what it is, you can figure out if that is a modality that you'd like to learn, so that you can start the path to healing those old belief systems and any recent trauma you may have faced, because LI is great for both of those. All right, so the second modality is actually journaling. Right? Journaling. But no, don't turn off the video. There's a very specific thing that I want you to do when it comes to this journaling. So, remember what I said earlier. When it comes to generational and family curses, you need to really think about when those programs first started getting embedded into you. So let's say that one of the programs you have is, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I will never be able to succeed in life because I just don't have the smarts to do that. I'm bad at retaining knowledge, blah, blah, blah. This goes on, right? And when you look back at your family history, you'll notice that maybe no one ever graduated from college. You probably had a few family members in your direct bloodline that failed high school. You know, you'll notice that there were a lot of people who worked low-wage jobs, so maybe servers or construction or whatever it was. And you'll notice that this idea of we're not smart enough to advance is prevalent in your family. And so now what you want to do is you want to sit down and really think about when you first started receiving that programming. Did your parents call you stupid? Did you overhear a conversation in which your mom and dad were saying, well, nobody from our families have ever graduated high school. This is just the way that it is. You know, really start to think about when you first started getting that information. And yes, write it down. And in your journal, I want you to write down specifically how you start interpreting those messages and how they began to affect you when you grew up. And the truth is, one belief usually starts to sprawl out into many other beliefs. So the belief of I'm stupid sprawls out into other beliefs such as I can't retain information, I'm a slow learner, I can't comprehend things easily. So we start formulating all of these different beliefs to validate the one belief of I'm not smart enough. So it's really important for you to get in touch with all of those different belief systems. And then from that point, you really need to get in tune with how these belief systems make you feel, right? How do they make you feel? How have they affected you in the long term? The other thing that you start to do is question these beliefs. Like, gosh, is it really true that I have poor comprehension? Is it really true that if I read a book, I can't comprehend the information? Is it really true that I'm a slow learner? Or have I picked up on different skills and habits and hobbies, new information quickly in the past? And as you really start to question these beliefs, you're probably going to find that a lot of them are false. A lot of them were false. Your mind created these beliefs so it can validate the one belief that is sabotaging the rest of your life, other areas of your life, right? So once you start questioning whether or not it's true, it's time to start creating some new belief systems. So instead of telling yourself, I have poor comprehension, you can start telling yourself, actually, I have great comprehension, and this is the evidence of it, and start writing it down. And start making a note of it when you do anything that seems to run counterintuitive to this belief system that you have that you're stupid. So when you figure something out on your own, whether it was kind of simple or really difficult, when you figure it out on your own, write it in your book. And you have to start going back into your book to read these experiences of when you were able to figure out something, of when you were able to comprehend new information quickly and you were able to repeat it articulately, because now what you're doing is you're creating a new program. You are telling your brain, look, not only is that belief system wrong, but here's the proof to show you that it's wrong. I have hard factual evidence that this belief system is wrong. And as you start to do that, your brain is able to absorb this new information, and it really cancels out the old programming, because your mind does like hard facts. Your mind actually likes numbers. It doesn't like to be proven wrong. You know, the ego hates to be proven wrong. But your brain does like to see the data. And once it has the data, and especially if it has the emotional pride and excitement and happiness behind it, it's able to override the old programming that has kept you sabotaged for way too long. Okay, so journaling is something that you can do on your own, and of course this is gonna take time. There is no quick fix to overriding these old programmings, these old programs that have been running not only in your own life, but in the life of generations previous to yours. So it is going to take some time, right? So just be cognitive of that. Now, the third modality that I like to speak to you about is hypnotherapy. Now, you've probably heard of hypnotherapy before. What you will want to do is find a good hypnotherapist that will listen very intently to the issues that you are facing. And a good hypnotherapist is going to help you to find those patterns, find those belief systems, and through a course of simply putting your mind and your body in a relaxed state, a good hypnotherapist will be able to plant new ideas and new thoughts and new beliefs into your mind. And the way this is done is by really allowing the frontal cortex of your brain to relax. It doesn't shut down, it just relaxes. Because when your frontal cortex feels safe, and the frontal cortex is where decisions are made. It's the part of your brain that calculates everything. And one of the things your brain is constantly asking yourself, is this safe? It's asking, is this safe? Does this make sense? Should I allow this information through to get into the subconscious mind where it can become a solid belief, or do I need to kick it out to not rock the boat? Or is this too unsafe to allow through? And the truth is that whenever our minds are confronted with change, it becomes scared. Right? Change is scary because we don't know if it's going to work out the way that we want it to. We don't know if change is going to be something that gives us everything we've ever dreamt of, or if it's going to be a worst case scenario where maybe we lose everything that we love. And so that's why our brain is usually in this fight or flight response, right? It's constantly trying to calculate whether a new belief or an action we want to take is safe, or whether it's something we need to fear. And usually our brain is going to go with fear because it doesn't know what to expect when it takes a new course. And so when your frontal cortex is relaxed, when it's feeling safe, your mind, specifically your subconscious mind, is able to absorb and integrate new beliefs, new belief systems, new affirmations, new ideas, new ways of thinking that allow you to problem solve better, that allow you to figure things out a little easier, that allow you to spend your money in a way that is wise and not so chaotic. So hypnotherapy is a very powerful way to adapt new beliefs so that you can create lasting changes in your life. Because as you probably already know, what we believe does show up in our actions. right? Our beliefs are so important. And that's why hypnotherapy has a very high success rate. It has been very helpful in helping people to lose weight, to quit smoking, to get over PTSD and other past traumas. Hypnotherapy has a good reputation, and there's a good reason for that. It is backed by study after study after study. So, have you ever successfully broken a family curse or a generational curse? If so, I would love to hear what methods and modalities you used to put that pattern to an end. So please feel free to tell us your stories in the comment section down below. And for those of you who are trying to find answers to your own family curses and your own patterns that just don't seem to quit, be sure that you read the comment section down below, because there's going to be a lot of great information down there. We love to hear your stories because they are so inspiring and so encouraging. And remember, this is a community. We are all here to learn from one another, to inspire each other, to encourage each other to be the best versions of ourselves. So if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would like to welcome you to the Guiding Echoes community, and I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I release new videos in the future. If you'd like to learn more about me and what I do, you can visit my website at guidingechoes.com. It is through that website that I offer tarot card readings and psychic mediumship readings and even one-on-one coaching. So if you are looking to expand your own intuition and you just need someone to talk to about different things that are going on in your life and you want some guidance and information and maybe some inspiration, again, I am there for you to do that as well. So you can check out the different sessions that I offer, schedule a session with me online, and just kind of take it from there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.